Now with the exclusive Fox Track, your Baltimore Minute.
It's the final chance to ensure Baltimore Collegiate School for Boys isn't facing its final days. Talks of shutting the charter down due to what AVENT calls technicalities have simmered following a positive recommendation from City Schools CEO Dr. Sonia Santelises.
We will actually have a high-performing school for young men in Baltimore.
However, the ultimate decider of whether the school doors stay open or shutter is the Board of School Commissioners.
Under Mayor Brandon Scott's new Squeegee collaborative plan, Squeegee kids are banned from 6 intersections across the city. On January 10th, that enforcement began, and Baltimore police confirmed that since then, 19 warnings have been given for pedestrians walking and standing in roadways. And now, as part of the mayor's plan, a city-backed campaign is asking residents to donate money to help fund Squeegee kids' goals. But as of Friday, only $40 has been donated, nowhere near the campaign's goal.
We need to come together as people and fight for our young people before they become perpetrators and before they become victims.
Well, members of Tim Reynolds' family stood by Deontay Dorsey's loved ones today. This week, an arrest was made in the Edmondson Shopping Center shooting where the 16-year-old died and 4 others were injured. Another 16-year-old now charged with murder. The arrest for that crime comes after another violent week in Baltimore where kids across the city became victims. Alexa Ashwell is digging into the alarming data.
When looking at homicides and non-fatal shootings, statistics show more than 300 juveniles have fallen victim to either of those 2 crimes here in Baltimore over the past 4 years, and many worry that trend will continue throughout 2023.
There's a shooting. There's a female was shot in the head.
The 15-year-old Merville High School freshman shot outside of an elementary middle school is one of the latest crimes committed against juveniles here in Baltimore.
Another incident where we have a young male or female who's a victim of gun violence in our city, and we just got to stop it.
She is a freshman at Merville. This is the 3rd time that we have seen trauma impact this school this academic year.
Statistics from the Baltimore Police Department troubling. Since 2019, at least 229 juveniles have been shot in Baltimore. In addition, at least 82 juveniles have been murdered.
The numbers are staggering.
Former Baltimore Police Deputy Commissioner Jason Johnson weighing in on the data. Here, a year-to-year breakdown of the non-fatal shootings and homicides. The statistics showing 2022 had the highest number of juveniles injured in non-fatal shootings and the 2nd highest number of homicides. Johnson pointing out the number of juveniles shot so far this year is already nearly double the number shot during this same time frame in 2022, which, according to the data, was one of the more violent years for young people.
There are probably several reasons, but I think the number one reason is lack of consequences.
As for this most recent case involving the Merville High School teen, no arrests have been made, the department not yet providing any suspect description. In Baltimore, Alexa Ashwell, Fox 45 News.
The violence involving juveniles has driven one mother to pull her child out of his Baltimore City public school. She tells Fox 45 she's scared. He's no longer safe attending Merville High School. Just this week, a Merville student was shot at a nearby elementary middle school during an after-school program. And in September, another student was killed in the school's parking lot.
It is horrible to think that your children cannot attend school and feel safe. Now, these recent situations are starting to occur. I just need peace in knowing that my child is safe going to school, but they don't have a safety plan. So what is a parent to do?
Well, her hope is to move her son to virtual learning or possibly even homeschool. Baltimore struggles to control youth violence. In Annapolis, lawmakers are trying to pass a law Changing how juvenile offenders are handled by the justice system. If Senate Bill 93, also known as the Youth Equity Act, passes, all cases involving offenders under 18 years old will begin in juvenile court, regardless of the offense. The bill is getting support from some who say it's necessary to make sure a crime at a young age doesn't effectively end a child's life.
I was charged as an adult. And I was put into a adult facility. They lose their lives. They lose their ability to be a part of society, to be productive.
However, there are also some serious concerns with the bill. Some victim advocate groups saying it would be a slap in the face to victims.
Even on the most serious offenses, you're talking about taking an individual and putting them into a program for 6 to 9 months and then returning them to the street.
Some are also concerned because juvenile records are sealed, meaning it may be impossible to know if someone has committed a violent crime in the past. A 19-year-old is arrested and charged with attempted murder for allegedly shooting a 60-year-old woman and 17-year-old boy. According to police, earlier this month, Darian Gamble shot the two victims on Medford Road in northeast Baltimore. Detectives arrested Gamble earlier this week. He is in police custody tonight. And a man who was shot in South Baltimore this week has died from his injuries. Just before 7 Tuesday night, officers responded to a scene on Washington Boulevard near Scott Street. A 21-year-old had been shot in the head. He was taken to the hospital but died from those injuries yesterday. Now, that man was one of 6 people shot and 2 killed in a 5-hour span on the evening of Valentine's Day. Anyone with information should contact Baltimore police.
Now, a Fox 45 News Alert in 3, 2, 1.
Fox 45 is following the latest on another shooting in Baltimore tonight. This time it happened in East Baltimore. The investigation is happening around the Biddle Street neighborhood, right by Luzerne Park. We understand the victim is a 31-year-old woman and was taken to the hospital. You can see evidence markers on the street as police investigate this crime. Right now, there's no word of a suspect, but Fox 45 will continue to update you on this breaking story and online, foxbaltimore.com. Maxine?
So far this year, 36 people have been killed in Baltimore. That's compared to 50 at this time last year. 68 people have survived being shot, and that's 20 fewer non-fatal shootings than there were at this time in 2022. Developing now, BGE has filed paperwork seeking to hike customer rates as much as $10 a month, over $120 a year, just days after the mayor and his 2 appointees on the City Board of Estimates approved a conduit contract that many say favors the utility. That deal protested by many city council members, including Zeke Cohen.
It looks terrible. The process has been rushed. People, communities feel shut out. Elected officials feel shut out. And it looks like this was a power play between the mayor and BGE.
Well, Mayor Scott facing more opposition regarding his deal between BGE over the city's conduit system. Councilman Cohen tells Fox 45 News he plans to introduce a bill that would create a task force to explore reforming or even abolishing the city's Board of Estimates. Now, Cohen isn't the only leader questioning the BGE deal. This morning, Comptroller Bill Henry and Council President Nick Mosby spoke to members of the city's Senate delegation about this. The two say the agreement was made without their approval. On Wednesday, Henry and Mosby, they skipped the Board of Estimates meeting out of protest, but Mayor Scott, Acting City Solicitor Ebony Thompson, and outgoing Public Works Director Jason Mitchell voted to approve that contract anyway. Henry and Mosby say that wasn't legal.
Nor were any protests or statements of opposition noted or public comment permitted, all of which would have happened at an actual meeting of the Board of Estimates as is required by the rules and regulations of the board.
Well, the mayor's office says Solicitor Thompson is confident in her interpretation of the BOE's rules, allowing the vote to move forward. Mosby and Henry have called for Attorney General Anthony Brown to investigate. They're also planning to hold another city council investigative hearing next week on this plan. Well, last month, Baltimore began asking for donations to pay Squeegee kids. This comes after the mayor's Squeegee collaborative plan went into effect and after months of Fox 45 News receiving complaints of Squeegee kids harassing drivers. Olivia Dance has the latest on just how much support the plan has been getting.
Throughout downtown Baltimore, the fundraising campaign for Squeegee Kids can be seen rotating through on these electric signs. It's not up right now, but I have seen it since standing here. But this specific sign off of Fleet Street is just blocks away from where Squeegee Kids are now banned. Driving through Baltimore, chances are you will likely come across Squeegee kids.
I don't feel like you can come into Baltimore and not experience the Squeegee kids.
For months, Squeegee kids have been harassing drivers.
I feel like the idea of the Squeegee kids or boys or whatever is out there is like more of a negative image.
I know it's off-putting to a lot of people, especially if you're visiting and you're not from here.
But under Mayor Brandon Scott's new Squeegee collaborative plan, Squeegee kids are banned from 6 intersections across the city. On January 10th, that enforcement began, and Baltimore police confirmed that since then, 19 warnings have been given for pedestrians walking and standing in roadways.
I don't see any problem with giving warnings. The issue is with so few warnings given, it really makes you wonder if there's any enforcement going on at all.
Former Baltimore Police Deputy Commissioner Jason Johnson worries that enforcement isn't really happening, and our cameras catching some Squeegee kids still coming back night after night. And now, as part of the mayor's plan, a city-backed campaign is asking residents to donate money to help fund Squeegee kids' goals.
These are really difficult economic times. Inflation is still high. You know, people are really pinched financially, and it's highly doubtful that any extra money they do have, they're going to send to Squeegee kids, which traditionally have been a problem in the city of Baltimore.
The campaign launched last month, advertised on electric signs downtown, is pushing donors to a website. But as of Friday, only $40 has been donated, nowhere near the campaign's goal. Taxpayer watchdog David Williams thinks the lack of donations speaks volumes.
Baltimore City folks seem to be voicing their opinion through this campaign is that they're not willing to pay to solve this, that this is the city's responsibility and the city needs to figure this out.
Some city residents we spoke to agree.
I feel like that's the part of it why some people don't want to help. They feel as though the misconduct is going to do nothing but support the bad habits.
Some people in Baltimore probably had like negative experiences with the Squeegee kids, so sometimes people have one bad experience and that kind of taints whether or not they want to give to something like that.
Some residents we spoke to also think people are unaware of the campaign and just haven't seen these signs, which could be another reason there's so few donations. But David Williams thinks that even if people are aware, they would be unlikely to donate because this really should be the city's responsibility. For now, reporting in Baltimore, I'm Olivia Dance, Fox 45 News.
A life-saving drug could soon become more widely available. The latest efforts to fight the country's addiction epidemic.
And if you're heading anywhere tonight, you will want the layers as temperatures drop from the 40s to the 30s. It gets even colder overnight, falling to the 20s. I'll let you know what to expect for the rest of the weekend coming up in my full forecast.
A push to keep Baltimore Collegiate School for Boys open. The latest on the fight to save the high-performing charter school. man has been arrested in connection to the death of Audra Pineda, whose body was found behind Lansdowne Middle School last month. Baltimore County Police arrested 57-year-old Clarence Henson. He's charged with first and second degree murder. A preliminary hearing is set for March 17th in Towson. And a precautionary boil water advisory is over now for parts of northern Baltimore County. DPW says work is complete on the broken 20-inch water main. Testing reveals no E. coli or dangerous bacteria in the impacted area. Residents should still run their cold water taps for 15 minutes before drinking tap water, just to be safe. For a full list of those safety measures following the advisory, just visit foxbaltimore.com. And Bring Your Own Bag is officially coming to Baltimore County, which is banning single-use plastic bags. Baltimore County Executive Johnny Olszewski signing the bipartisan bill that passed earlier this month.
Well, I was proud to support the legislation when the council put it in. Thrilled to see it passed. Grateful again to our partners. Let's sign this thing into law.
Well, the law goes into effect on November 1st, but won't be enforced until 2024. In addition to banning single-use plastic bags, it imposes a 5-cent fee on paper bags. That's half of the originally proposed 10-cent fee. This puts the county in line with neighboring counties and Baltimore City.
Dr. Santalisas, thank you for your vote of confidence in recommending that Baltimore Collegiate School for Boys receive a conditional 3-year renewal.
Well, a final push to ensure Baltimore Collegiate School for Boys stays open. In a hearing with the Board of School Commissioners last night, Dr. Barney Wilson, the charter's principal, was given just 4 minutes to plead his case.
We believe that this recommendation is not only a vote for Baltimore Collegiate, but also a vote for the boys in Baltimore who deserve a high-quality education in a single-gender learning environment.
Baltimore City State's Attorney Ivan Bates even wrote a long letter on Twitter defending the school, saying, quote, "I may not have a vote in this matter, but I'll always use my voice for matters that benefit our community." And the board expressed several concerns with the charter, including hiring more certified teachers and offering better special education services. It will vote on the renewal of the charter next Thursday.
You're taking a look over the harbor and over Towson, where it's a lot quieter now that the rain has cleared. On the HD radar, you can see a few showers left over, starting to move toward the Atlantic. That's all behind our past weather maker. But as we head into the weekend, we are actually looking at a lot nicer temperatures as we move forward. We are talking the 40s tomorrow, but then the 50s, so it gets a little bit better. 42 currently with mostly cloudy skies and winds out of the west-northwest around 21 miles per hour. That's leading to a wind chill just above freezing. We're seeing the 30s and 40s across much of the state, but when we take into account the winds, it does feel a little cooler. We are dry, though, so that's good news. A few showers still remain over the eastern shore. Those will continue to move to the east over the next couple hours. We will stay mostly dry throughout the night with clouds clearing. Temperatures drop to the 20s. That means freezing temperatures, wind chills will be lower. You will want the layers. As we head into the afternoon, we'll have lots of sunshine, but temperatures only rise to the mid to upper 40s, and that means we'll stay close to average for a nice change. Then as we head into Sunday, we start with mostly cloudy skies, but the warm temperatures are going to make a return as we reach the 50s for the afternoon. And throughout the work week, we remain above average, continuing a very unseasonably year so far. Rain chances will stay pretty low over the next few days into Monday, but on Tuesday we have our next chance for a few spotty showers. That's followed by scattered showers on Wednesday and possibly a few morning showers on Thursday. The good news is that by Friday and as we head into the weekend, we're looking at drier weather returning. 27 overnight with wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. That's going to knock our wind chill down a couple degrees. Make sure that you have the layers tomorrow morning. By the afternoon, temperatures reach the upper 40s and low 50s. We'll have plenty of sunshine, so it is going to be a nice day to get outside, but the best day of the weekend comes on Sunday. Our temperatures reach 57 with a mix of sunshine and clouds. Then on Monday, we're in the 60s. Above average temperatures continue. We'll briefly drop to the upper 50s on Tuesday and Wednesday with our next chance for scattered showers. Rain continues into early Thursday, but we dry out by the afternoon. And look at those temperatures. We're talking highs in the 70s. However, it will be short-lived. As we head into the weekend, we return to the 50s. Back to you.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Heavy rains early this morning flooded Orr Park in Montevallo, south of Birmingham, Alabama. The park is apparently very susceptible to flooding.
The push to make a life-saving drug more available is the latest effort to fight addiction. Narcan could soon be much easier to buy. At the center of the fight, communities in Texas. The governor in that state claiming the proximity to the border is making the drug crisis worse. Ricardo Lewis from our Sinclair sister station in Austin has the story.
We lost our son Connor December 6th of 21.
Tisha Inslee's son Connor was in active recovery when he relapsed on what he believed to be Oxycontin. But when the toxicology results came back, she learned the pill he took was 100% fentanyl.
At the time in Austin, the narcotics division was defunded, so they were not able to investigate his death and the poisoning that he received.
She says if he had access to fentanyl test strips and Narcan, the outcome could have been different.
And he did not ask to die.
Activists rallied at the Texas State Capitol on Wednesday to ask lawmakers to authorize fentanyl test strips and more harm reduction programs to end the state's overdose crisis. On that same day, 2 U.S. Food and Drug Administration advisory committees voted unanimously in favor of making Narcan available over the counter.
The answer to addiction is connection. The solution to addiction is healing.
If the overdose reversing drug is approved, you could soon find it in grocery stores and gas stations across the country. Here in Austin, the NICE project already has the life-saving drug available in vending machines. During Governor Greg Abbott's State of the State address Thursday night, he announced he's making the fentanyl crisis an emergency item this legislative session after he blamed the state's growing drug problem on Mexican drug cartels.
To end cartel killings of Texans, we must do two things. Call fentanyl deaths what they are, poisonings, and prosecute them as murders.
The governor getting emotional, calling the, quote, porous border a tragic side effect.
We must also increase the supply of life-saving Narcan so that we can save more Texans who are ambushed by fentanyl.
That was Ricardo Lewis reporting. Right now, Narcan is available in many pharmacies with or without a prescription, but it's often kept behind the counter. If approved fully by the FDA, you could soon find it in vending machines, grocery stores, and gas stations across the country.
We are in for a nice and dry weekend, and it should be great for spending some time outside. But tomorrow, a drop in temperatures, 49 for the high with lots of sunshine, and it will be breezy at times. Then we're talking the upper 50s and a nice warm up on Sunday. We rise to the 60s by Monday with dry weather and mostly cloudy skies. But then we enter an unsettled pattern for the middle of the week with rain on Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll be in the 50s. 70s with morning showers on Thursday, then 50s on Friday. After that, it starts to feel like winter again. We'll be in the 40s. Back to you.
Well, a big congratulations to the Delaney, Franklin, and Loch Raven High School Special Olympics bocce teams. The three Baltimore County schools earned state titles at the 2023 Special Olympics Indoor Bocce Tournament today. It was each school's first time competing in the event. And that's all for Fox 45 News at 6. Family Feud is next. We'll see you again tonight at 10. Have a great night.